Green skies everywhere in the markets and early spring, according to Phil. Today is February 3rd, and you're listening to the Arbitrage Trade Weekend News. I'm your host, Darin Harper, bringing you 3 things you need to know for this weekend, 2 interviews, which are how much coffee is too much and St. Valentine's Day, and then a timely bonus blog about the history of Groundhog Day. Also, check out the winner and loser this week in the market. Bonds and commodities, the 10-year fell to 4.02, and WTI crude fell as well to $72.41. Here's 3 things. So many stats and figures reported in the media don't make a whole lot of sense, especially lately. For example, January layoffs surged up to 136%, which reflects the second highest ever, yet you continue to hear just how strong the job market is. Most companies are saying it is cost savings, not AI or automation to blame. You have seen a lot of bank and broker layoffs lately, which has led to the financial entities to have the most layoffs. I guess things will eventually come out whether reported or not. After strangely announcing our upcoming moves, the U.S. started what it says will be the tiered retaliation for the death of the U.S. soldiers. The first targets were 7 sites, including 85 targets in Iraq and Syria that were used by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Here's the bigs for next week. Monday, S&P Global Services PMI for January, ISM non-manufacturing PMI and prices for January, and Australia interest rate decision. Tuesday, there's no real big reports, so we'll move right on to Wednesday, where crude oil inventories reports and the 10-year note auction happens. Thursday, initial jobless claims. We need help with all the conflicting info. And then the 30-year bond auction happens. Friday at Singapore and China, early close for Chinese New Year and German CPI. Trade while you're sleeping across time zones with Arbitrage Trade Assist. Sign up today at arbitragetrade.com. Arbitrage Trade is your trusted source for business, finance, and tech info.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, on a journey that we're now on together as a family,
I'll make you something to eat, okay?
we can't help but be inspired by her every day.
Hey, Mom, we're about to start the movie.
Oh, yeah, I'll be right there.
Okay.
So really, we're the lucky ones. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Good morning, Caroline. I'm feeling oh so sluggish. I need my first cup of coffee.
Oh, well, it's a good thing. We're talking about coffee and caffeine today.
Oh, sweet. Does that mean I get an extra shot?
Well, is there a thing as too much coffee?
Yeah, I want to say on average, I drink about 4 to 5 cups a day.
Okay, so most experts agree that a couple of cups of coffee a day is fine for most people. Just be careful if you have pre-existing health conditions.
Definitely, caffeine is a stimulant, so
Yes.
yeah.
So, that they recommend, children, people taking anti-anxiety medications, women who are pregnant, breastfeeding, people with heart disease, high blood pressure. You might want to watch your caffeine a little more.
Okay.
So if you're otherwise healthy, the FDA says you should not consume more than 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. So, I don't like coffee. I like other caffeinated things, which is fine, but not coffee. So they say that's 4 8-ounce cups of brewed coffee.
Okay, that's about right.
Or 10 cans of soda.
That's way too much sugar for me.
Right. I'm like, 10 cans, that's expensive. Or 2 energy shot type drinks.
Okay. 2, yeah, I can say with them 2.
And the thing to be careful with energy drinks is the caffeine levels can vary widely.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like a 12-ounce can of Pepsi or Coke or another soda. It's relatively the same amount of caffeine.
Yeah.
But the energy type drinks can have a much wider range.
Yeah, try saying that 10 times.
Right? I'm not going to. And so some of the negative side effects, if you have too much caffeine, you can have a jittery feeling, dehydration, high blood pressure, upset stomach.
Oh, wow.
Kind of those things. So if you're noticing some of those symptoms, you might want to try to cut back.
Okay. Luckily, I haven't experienced any of that. I've seen people get jitters from coffee, but I've never seen that.
Well, that's good.
Experience, right?
So, if you want to cut back on your caffeine overall, make sure you're also looking for things like not coffee that have caffeine in them. Like you get a headache and take Excedrin. Some people don't know Excedrin has caffeine in it.
Oh yeah.
Chocolate has caffeine in it. Tea, some weight loss supplements have it.
Did you know, like on the molecular level, caffeine and chocolate are only off by, I think, 2 hydrogen molecules?
That's why I like them both.
Right? We love it.
There was also a court case recently where a family was suing Panera because they had charged lemonade, is what they called it. And it had, I don't remember the number, but it was an obscene amount of caffeine in it. And a family member had a heart attack and died from it because they didn't know that it had, like, there was no warning about how much caffeine. It was called charged lemonade.
Oh, wow.
But, they just saw lemonade. So, just make sure you're watching for it if you need to cut back. But if you want to reduce your caffeine, but you still really like coffee, regular and decaf coffee both have a protective effect on your liver.
Oh, okay.
And so it's something about the coffee beans. Coffee drinkers, whether it's caffeinated or decaf, are more likely to have liver enzyme levels in a healthy level.
Is that why people drink coffee when they have a hangover the morning after?
I have no idea. Since I don't like hangovers and I don't like coffee, I don't know.
I just remember fraternity life.
Okay.
So many years ago.
So, if you need to cut back, make sure you do it slowly, because if you quit cold turkey,
you will get headaches.
Withdrawal and headaches.
Oh, yeah. Just like with any drug.
Exactly.
All right. If you like what you've heard, please go to arbitragetrade.com/blog to read more about it. Thank you again, Caroline, for being here, and we will see you next week.
I'll bring you that pot of coffee.
Thank you, ma'am.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, Darin.
Hey, Royce.
We are officially in February.
I know. You know what? I love the blog we're doing.
Oh, yeah. But, yes. So let's talk about Valentine, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Yeah, it's some people have said it's the beginning of spring, and that's when the birds start mating, the flowers start blooming, and we have that groundhog that basically comes out, see the shadow and decides.
I don't even know. I'm supposed to keep up with the news. I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Or is that coming up?
I think it's
Friday.
February 2nd.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's coming up Friday.
It's coming up Friday.
That's right.
We will find out, and by the time this is released, it will have happened, and we will decide if we've had more spring or more winter.
Is Bill Murray going to be there?
I don't know, but definitely Phil will be there.
Punxsutawney Phil will be there.
Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil will definitely be there.
All right, focus back on love.
Love and basically, but anyone knows how this actually started? Or basically, it's rumored that basically I'm Catholic, so that it is rumored that Saint Valentine, he was a martyr, and he basically he was a priest, and basically they outlawed soldiers from getting married. Did you know that?
Because they can take on the whole world and be big warriors.
And
defeat everybody.
Nothing to lose, nothing to come home
woman,
to.
Right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Do NFL coaches do that? No, I don't think so.
Let a woman in your
Kelsey,
life. No. But he believed that people should be allowed to get married, and consequently died as a martyr, basically allowing or secretly letting soldiers get married because, that's something that wanted and something that he believed in.
He was a martyr for love.
And globally, people started doing it too. So it's like, it's not just an American holiday. People basically, like I said, beginning of spring, love those candles, those, flowers, those chocolates, that are basically selfless deeds, act of love, those tokens, our cards, basically allow us to focus on the smaller things in life because they matter so much.
Yes, and Sophie Monroe, I bring a quote once again.
All right, let's hear that quote.
The brain is the most outstanding organ. It works 24/7, 365 from birth until you fall in love.
Right? Well, there is that.
Speaking of tragedies.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yes.
That makes me want to quote someone. I don't remember who said this, and this would just be a bad joke.
Yeah.
It's like, I never knew what true love and happiness was until I got married.
Yes.
And then it was too late.
Ah, there he goes. Well, the Greek legend says that the Trojan War was over love.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. It's like, hey, and Helen of Troy.
That's why they came up with the Trojan. Never mind.
Possibly. Wasn't it attributed to Helen of Troy, the face that can launch 1,000 ships?
Yeah.
So yes, love.
There's some Hallmark cards in there.
Right?
Yes.
Love makes you do many a fickle thing.
Oh, doesn't it? It does turn your brain off.
Yeah, but
suggested right there.
If you want to impress big.
That's right. But you replace that with passion, and of all the things, love is the greatest. That's in the Bible too. And so there's, love is certainly.
Love is patient. Love is kind.
Yes.
Yes. So absolutely. Thank you so much, Darin, for being here, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Royce.
I love that, man. I love that.
Hi, I'm EJ Williams for American Humane. For thousands of years, dogs have been our best friends in our worst times. Today, we're also learning that our best friends, millions of whom are abandoned each year, are often the best medicine when people are facing obstacles. To help both people and animals, organizations like American Humane have been working to harness the healing power of the human-animal bond, finding animals in need of forever homes and training them as life-saving service and therapy dogs to help our veterans, the elderly, and children overcome the daily obstacles of life. In this way, the rescued can become the rescuers. To find out how you can help give animals and the people they help a new leash on life, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
A shadowy history, Groundhog Day's journey. This year we are supposed to see an early spring according to the results of Groundhog Day, so let's look at how this tradition has evolved over the centuries. Groundhog Day, celebrated every February 2nd, may seem like a lighthearted tradition, but its roots delve into ancient beliefs and cultural exchanges. Its journey began centuries ago, far from the bustling crowds gathered around Burroughs in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. The earliest whispers of Groundhog Day echo back to the Christian tradition of Candlemas, celebrated on February 2nd. Clergy would bless candles, symbolizing the remaining winter, with a sunny day predicting a shorter season. This concept crossed paths with German folklore, where hedgehogs were believed to predict the weather. If a hedgehog saw its shadow on Candlemas, it meant 6 more weeks of winter, a second winter. German immigrants brought this tradition to Pennsylvania, where hedgehogs were replaced by an abundant groundhog. The first recorded mention of Groundhog Day in the United States dates back to 1840, documented in a diary entry. However, the official celebration took root in Punxsutawney in 1887, with the first official trek to Gobbler's Knob to consult the resident groundhog, now known as Punxsutawney Phil. Over time, Groundhog Day evolved into a national spectacle. Punxsutawney's celebration gained media attention, attracting crowds and international press. The tradition spread across the United States and Canada, becoming a lighthearted event filled with anticipation and good-natured fun, even if the accuracy of Phil's prediction remains debatable. So the next time you see a groundhog emerge on February 2nd, remember the long and fascinating journey this tradition has taken, from ancient symbolism to modern-day merriment. It's a reminder that even the silliest customs often hold deeper stories waiting to be unearthed. Check out our blogs at arbitragetrade.com Monday through Friday.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This week's winner and loser. The loser is New York Community Bank Corp., that's NYCB. It operates as a bank holding company for Flagstar Bank North America that provides banking products and services in the United States. With a market cap of $4.36 billion, this stock tumbled after the bank reported a surprise loss, cut its quarterly dividend, and increased its loan loss reserves by $500 million. NYCB started the week at $10.40 before crashing to $5.51 Thursday. It ended the week at $6.04. And now for our winner. That's Powell Industries, POWL. It's a manufacturer of integrated package solutions and electrical equipment to monitor and control the distribution of electrical power in commercial and industrial markets, with headquarters in Houston, Texas. Powell jumped over 45% Wednesday due to its top line increasing 53% year over year. The company also delivered earnings of $1.98 per share compared to 10 cents in the prior year quarter. POWL started the week at $78.15 and ran all the way up to $125.27 Wednesday before settling in at $123 Friday. Trade while you're sleeping across time zones with Arbitrage Trade Assist. Sign up today at arbitragetrade.com. Arbitrage Trade is your trusted source for business, finance, and tech info. Thank you for joining us today for another edition of Arbitrage Weekend News. Log into arbitragetrade.com to read our wide variety of blogs and educate yourself on Trade Assist and Forex trading, or even how to make passive money with our Trade Assist affiliate marketer program. You can also get to know our cute little AI bot, Pips. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC, please visit arbitragetrade.com.